Today I will be ranking every Texas freshman from S tier to D tier. Let's get started. Notorious. I'm back. Took a little break. Took some time to recalibrate. That's a bar. I just gave y'all that for free. So we bringing back my ranking series. Looking forward to. I want to get at least. I think I want to get. At least want to get the top 25 teams ranked, just to see where all the top players or the top classes sit at going into this year before we get to the season. We'll love to see how these tier lists and these rankings shake out in the 2028 draft. Yeah, 2028, 2029, 2030 draft. That's when all those kids should be gone by then. So we're bringing out the series side to rank and tier this Texas class. I like the Texas class, so I decided to start out with them. And they were the #1 class in 2025, so that's a added bonus. They #1. Who I'm gonna do next, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments below. If it's Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, do they have a replacement for Nico coming down the pipe? I think they do. Just a little FYI, just taking a peek at that class. I think they do have a good option coming down the pipe. He may not be ready early on. He's a little light, but I think George McIntyre will be a really good quarterback for them. But that's about Tennessee. This video is about Texas, so let's get into it. My diamond tier was just, the D tier, diamond prospect, diamond and rush. These are players that may have the size or maybe lacking size or maybe lacking. They may need a little bit of development. So this is my diamond tier, my first tier. Then I got my sleepers. These are the kids that show some stuff on film. They may have really good film, but may be undersized. They may be good prospects. They may have the size, but their film is lacking. They may be lacking some skills here and there, and they just need to be coached up. Then we got our blue chips. These are what people want. These when you start getting into, at least to me, when you start getting into potential draft picks, potential program changers. These are what most coaches, when they want guys that's gonna come in, most likely start, compete within those first 2 years, freshman year, red shirt freshman year. So that's what I usually view my blue chippers as, just kids that will be good starters in the first year or two. Then we got All-American. These are kids this is my A tier, blue chip, blue B tier. Couldn't think anything for a C, so I just went with sleepers. I really wanted something for C, but I just really like the term sleeper between diamond, sleeper, blue chip, All-American. Then we got superstars. So S tier, A tier, B tier, sleeper. Hey man, hey, I couldn't think of nothing with a C, so we rocking with sleepers. And then we got my D tier for my diamond prospects. Jonathan Cunningham, man, I like Jonathan Cunningham. He's a 6'2", 190-pound linebacker. I don't know, his film wasn't edited too great, so he didn't identify himself, so I couldn't really watch his tape. I just turned it off. So he ended up in the developmental tier. He's a little light, a little undersized. He's going to definitely the NFL averages at linebackers, usually around 6'2". He has the height, 6'2", 6'3". Far away in the weight category. He needs to get to probably at least 225 to at least be a real threat to get one of those linebacker spots. I don't know if he has the skill set to play safety. I'm not sure, but he has the size to play safety, but does he have the skill set? And those two different things. Next up, we got Smith Orogbo. I think that's how you say it. 6'4", 220, coming out of high school, but when he got to Texas, it's like he's listed as 6'4", 208. So that's a little bit of a concern to me. I think his tape is fine. His best plays came from being unblocked. I don't think you can't make a living being unblocked at the next level, at any level. You're going to have to beat the man in front of you. I need your best plays to come against, quick block shed. I need to see a lot of quick block sheds, not you being unblocked. Need to see you beat the man in front of you. Good athlete though. Undersized. They're gonna definitely have to put some weight on the kid. He's a 4-star, underweight player, but I think he has about average. I think his film is average. I think it could be better. So he wind up in the diamond tier as a developmental prospect. I think once he puts some weight on, get a training table, things, I think he'll be fine. But there are some, to me, there are some things that need to be worked on for him to get pushed up the tiers down the road. Next, we got tight end in my diamond tier, 6'3", 235. What's his name? Nick Townsend, right? Nick Townsend, tight end, 6'3", 235, 4-star prospect, below average size for NFL standards. NFL typically 6'5" 6'4", 6, really 6'5", around like 250. He's 6'3", 235, so he's a little short, a little light, but he got plenty of time to add weight. He can add 20 pounds over the next 3-4 seasons. He could potentially grow another inch or two over the next couple of seasons. He's still growing. Primarily used as a blocker at the high school level, from what I saw from the film I looked at. Primarily used as a blocker. Ain't nothing wrong with a blocker. I didn't think he was a great blocker. I thought he's a serviceable blocker. I definitely think he's a developmental, probably a special teams guy early on. But he could see some potential playing time down the road. I think he needs to sit for a season or two, and let's see what we got. But overall, good prospect, good size. I got Zealous Hicks, 6'2", 189 pounds, safety, about 10 pounds off the NFL average, but that's fine. He can put that, like I said, you can put weight on. He has the height. On average, the NFL DB is like, what, 6 foot tall, 5'11" to 6'1". That's the average height. He's 6'2", 189. Safety, ideal size. Solid film, not great. I think he has some special teams value, but he's a 4-star. 4-star. What is he? 4-star out of, where is Zealous at? Out of Georgia. 4 stars. That's our first sleeper. I think he's a sleeper, man. I think he's also a kid that needs some development, but I think, down the road, let's see what we got. Let's see what he can do. Next up, I got Caleb Chester as one of my sleeper cornerbacks. 6'1", 179. He's really light, but you can be a little bit lighter at cornerback. You don't have to be a big guy. And weight really not a huge factor at cornerback. We've seen cornerbacks get drafted that were like 5'8", 170. They go first round. So size is not a huge deterrent at corner, because if you can play, they'll take you. But I think his film, I think he need to work on some things. I think his film is average Division I cornerback film. Tons of breakups. Like, I will say this, he has tons and tons of pass breakups. Really good in coverage, but he didn't have any picks. No picks, at least not on the film I watched. Any pick sixes, things like that. I think he plays zone and man coverage pretty good. Always in the right position. But I didn't see some of those traits that you kind of want to see in some of those higher end cornerbacks, some of those first round cornerbacks, some of those first round safeties. But yeah, I think he has a ton of value as a returner, as a gunner. On all this, he brings a ton of value early as a special teamer. I think he'll probably, between him and Zealous, I think he'll probably see the field early on special teams, because he does bring a lot of value at that position. And that's Caleb Chester coming in at the sleeper tier. Next up, we got Grayson Littleton, another cornerback, 4-star. On the smaller side, that's 6 foot. 6 feet is good height. 180 is a little thin. 20 pounds off from the NFL average, but like I said, he got 4 years to put on 5 pounds a season. He'll be fine in that category, so I'm not really sweating that. Special teams value. Here, I actually got him mixed up with Caleb Chester. Grace Littleton is a guy that has the value as a returner, gunner, above average film. This is the kid that I actually got him mixed up with Caleb Chester, actually, ironically. But yeah, Grayson is the kid that has a lot of return value, special teams value, 6 feet. I like the kid. I think he has a lot of potential as a corner. Not quite there yet, but he could be. If I can find him. Did I put him on here? Oh, there we go. Grayson. Next up. Now, this next kid is a big kid, 6'5", 315, Jackson Christian. I really wanted to push him higher up the tier because his size is great. He has great size. He's a what? He's a 3-star. Great size, 6'5". When you watch this, when I at least I'm gonna say when I watched this tape, I saw one thing stuck out to me the most, and that is he is a linebacker killer. He does a really good job getting to that second level, getting movement, finishing the blocks. But for me, I really look for offensive linemen that can dominate level 1 defenders, getting great movement, north, northeast, northwest of the line of scrimmage, being able to reach, pull, kick, trap, you name it. Slip, combo slip up to the next level. I really look for guys that can really dominate that first level. And I didn't really see a lot of first level domination for Jackson Christian coming out of high school based on, I think I watched his junior tape. I think that was a junior tape I watched. So I didn't see him dominating the other big bodies on the field, but I saw him absolutely destroying linebackers. And I think there is something to be said. I think there is something there. I really wanted him to push up to the blue chip. I mean, I love finding me some sleepers that can turn out to be blue chippers and all that stuff. But I just didn't see enough on film to be like, so you know what? This is a kid that everybody would be highly sought after. He'll be fine. He'll be good. I think he needs, some coaching. But I didn't see him dominate those first level defenders like I would like to see a guy that's 6'5", 315 pounds do. But yeah, who knows what this kid can be in the next couple years or so. Next we got, where my running back at? Where's my running back? Ricky Stewart, man. I like Ricky Stewart, man. This is one thing that jumped off the film to me was this kid is absolutely fast. He's a speedster. He has some elusiveness in the hole. He can make a couple guys miss. But you give him a crease, you give him a lane to the basket or to the goal line, he gonna hit it and he gonna hit it hard. So I like Ricky Stewart. 3-star running back, 5'10", 185 pounds, a little light, Like I said, I always go back to NFL averages, and he's a little light for that position. The height is good, a little light, a little light. He could be a smaller back, and he's a little fast. He's faster. He's a faster guy, so it's okay for him to be small. Whatever he makes up for his size with his speed. So he's a pretty elusive running back. I like the running back. I think of all the kids I watched, he had some of the best film I watched. He's just a little bit undersized, and he only got 3 stars. So I think he probably could push up a little bit in the rankings, but I don't really trip too much about other people's ranking because it's not an easy thing to do. No matter who you rank number 1, somebody else gonna feel like they should be number 1. So I don't really get too caught up in, how this kid a 3-star, he should be. I don't really get caught up in that. It is what it is. You got what you got. But you got an opportunity. You can go and prove whoever you want wrong. Now, moving on to one of my favorite prospects in this whole sleeper category. It's actually a kid I know. I've actually had a couple conversations with this kid. And based on my criteria that I used for this video, he ended up in the sleeper tier, even though his production belongs in the blue chip tier. Amari Winston, he lost a lot of points due to his size. I mean, at 6'1", 6'2", 246 pounds, he's a little short for the tight end position. He's not small because he's 240. He's a couple pounds off from the NFL average already. But at 6'1", 6'2", it may shy some people out. He may not be a must-have tight end for most schools at 6'2", 245, 250. But when you watch the tape, at least when I watch the tape, I see an explosive athlete. I see a versatile athlete. I see a guy you can line up at the X, the Y, the Z, the H, fullback, running back. We probably can play a little bit. I want to play Amari at the running back spot, but he probably can stand in there and give you some game. Now, I think of all the tight ends that Texas has in this class, Amari is by far the best receiving option because I think he's a much better receiving option than Nick Townsend. Nick Townsend may be a better blocker, but Amari is a better receiver. What's the kid name? I can't think his name right now. Lance Jackson, two-way athlete, plays tight end, plays defensive end. I like Amari's tight end tape better not like Lance Jackson's tight end tape. Even though Lance is listed as a defensive end, we're gonna get to Lance later. Later in the video, he's a little bit higher up the tier, but we're gonna get to Lance in a second. But I just liked Amari's upside, his ability at tight end. And if he was 6'4", 6'5", he would have been the blue chip tier. He would have been the blue chip tier if he was 6'4", 6'5", 240, doing what he doing on film, doing what Amari does on film. Hey man, ain't no doubt he's a blue chip All-American player. If he was 6'5", oh my God, he'd be All-American. I'm gonna be honest with you, he'd be All-American. He'd be in the All-American tier, no doubt, no doubt. You know, and a lot of things with my sleeper tier. This is the tier where scheme, fit, coaching is going to play a huge role in how successful any of these players will be. Because they're good, they can play, but they may need to be in a certain type of system. They may need to be in a certain type of offense. They may need to play in a certain type of role to really be successful. And Amari is a great use case of that scenario. Like, he's 6'2", 245, but the boy can run, he can catch, he can block. Run, and matter of fact, I think he's the best blocker of these tight ends too. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm taking him over Nick Townsend as a blocker too. So, and over Lance. And Lance a 5-star, but I'm taking Amari. Give me Amari Winston any day of the week. And you know a funny thing about Amari, and I think I told him this when I interviewed them boys last year. I think I told him, you would be a great linebacker prospect if you go watch. And I'm probably gonna put some of the film up in the full version of this video. This is just a live. You know, we going live, man. We going live in 5. So I probably will lay in some B-roll with some of the highlight tapes. But I think Amari would be a amazing linebacker. Mike, Will, Sam, Strong. I think he'd be a great 6'2", 245, moving like this, running like this, catching like this, athletic like this on the defensive side of football. Come on. I'm telling y'all right, if he was on defense, he'd be blue chip All-American as well. He could be the same height he is right now. Put him at linebacker, he a blue chipper right now. 6'2", 245. Get out the way. Get out the way. I'm telling you what I know, man. And I would not be shocked if Amari ended up making the switch to linebacker at some point over the next 4 years. It wouldn't shock me. You need to go ahead and do it now, so you can use your red shirt year to get acclimated to that position, learn how to tackle, learn how to be a dominant player at that position, and go about your day. I skipped over a kid. This one will be a little bit controversial because I know a lot of people really like this kid. And I like this kid. But I think that... Where is he? I think that Jamie French is a really good, safe option at receiver. 6'1", 184. He's a little light, a little slight. 4-star, good size, not the best size, good size. Good hands, good routes, good receiver. Like, I have nothing negative to say about it. I don't think he's great at this moment in time, but I think he's really good. I think he's undersized. I think his size did in my little, and I go over my little grading scale at the end, but I think his size hurt him a little bit. Tape hurt him a little bit. Good tape, not the best tape. But I like Jamie French. A lot of upside there. But he ended up in my sleeper tier. I know that's going to be a little bit controversial because I read the reports about Jamie, and I think the kid good. But, hey, man, it is what it is. Now, this next receiver is way smaller than Jamie, and he definitely lost points in the size category. But film-wise, I thought his film was just a tad bit better than Jamie French. I thought his film was better. I think Jamie is a bigger receiver prospect, a good one, but I think Dylan is a better receiver prospect. He's just smaller. He's smaller. I think he has better hands. He has tons of the one-handed, those little funky, little special little catches. He just does that very well. Now, just does it very well. It's not a huge disparity between them two, but if I had to pick between just who tapes I like the best, I like Dalen. I don't know how you McCutcheon. I think that's how you say it. McCutcheon. I like Dalen McCutcheon's tape better at 5'11", 178. He's like I said, he's undersized. Like I said, NFL averages 6 foot 200. That's the NFL average for a receiver. He's 5'11", 178. He undersized. It is what it is. But the tape is good. Tape is really good. Like I say, tons of effortless one-hand catches. Not the fastest kid. Not the fastest for it. He's not like a blazer to me. He's not a speedster. But he fast enough. He good enough. And I think he'll compete over the next 2 years for one of those receiver slots. Now, this next kid in my sleeper tier, a huge kid. Like this kid is freaking huge. 6'7", 353 pounds. Nick Brooks. 4-star, great size. But I think he has average. I think his film is average. Average D1 offensive lineman film. I think it's average. This is what you want your offensive tackles to look like coming out of high school. I prefer my offensive tackles to be a little bit leaner, but I believe as 6'7", 350, he can play at that weight. He can hold that weight. Now, I don't know if he's gonna play tackle. I'm gonna be honest with you, he may get kicked inside the guard, but I think he's good enough to compete. I think he needs some coaching. I think he may have to trim his frame down a little. I just always recommend the offensive lineman get to around 315 to 325. If you're a heavier offensive lineman, try to get down to 315 to 325. Because however good you are right now, you will be way better at 315, 325. How do you know that, Coach Lee? Because I was also an offensive lineman. I wasn't 6'7", I was 6'2", that played at 350. And I played much better when I got down to 315, 325. When I dropped down to 6'2", 6'3", 325, 315 was great weight for me. 6'2", 6'3", 355 or 341, 355 pounds, 360 pounds was not good weight for me. And I know the struggles y'all going through. So I always recommend, hey man, get your weight down. So, and if he can get his weight down, you may be looking at another draft pick. I don't know what round, you know what I'm saying? But he could play his way into a draft pick. He really could. He really could. Honestly, he really could. Make sure I'm still sharing. So that's Nick Brooks, man. I really like Nick Brooks. A lot of upside. Now, Texas, these next couple guys about to be big. I ain't gonna lie. Nick Brooks, 6'7", 353. Josiah Sharmer, defensive tackle, 6'4", 365. 4-star offensive lineman. Where is he? Josiah. 4-star defensive lineman. I like this tape. One of the best, but I liked it. 4-star, good size. I thought his tape was above average. I didn't think it was average. I didn't think it was good, but I thought it was above average. But at his weight, his size, I will take above average film from a 6'4", 365 pound nose guard. I don't need you to be like great. I just need you to 2-gap, hold, free up my linebackers. You don't have to make a play. You don't got to make a tackle. You ain't got to make a sack. It'd be nice if you can get some TFLs and make the running back bounce it and bounce it into a linebacker. But if you can 2-gap it and hold firm up there in the trenches, that's all I need at 6'4", 365. Now, my concern with Josiah is out of high school, he was listed as 6'4", 325. I don't know who made that error, but when he got to Texas, and I guess they weighed him, he was 6'4", 365. So, it begs the question, did he gain 40 pounds between his senior year and his freshman year in college? Or did somebody falsify information saying he was 325, for aesthetics? So I'm hoping that it's the latter and not the. I hope he didn't gain 40 pounds between senior year and his first and getting on campus at Texas. Okay, if that happened, that they have a real problem. And linemen have a hard. I was one of those big linemen that struggled to keep his weight down. So I always encourage, hey man, you can get yourself down to 315, anything between 300, 325. I always recommend that you do that. Ideally 315 to 325 ish, 335 for you 6'7" guys. You know, if you 6'7", 6'6", 6'8", yeah, you can probably be around the 325, 335 range. But overall, I always, hey man, good sweet spot is 315, 325. So good size defensive tackle, or really good size defensive tackle, above average tape. Can he two gap? That's all I need to know. Can you two gap? But weight is concerned. Next, we got, so Texas did a thing where they signed two brothers. We're going to talk about the first brother now, but there's another brother that's going to be a little bit higher up. But I like both of their films, not equally. I like Jordan Coleman's size a little bit more. I like Devin Coleman's size better, but I think Jordan Coleman also played out of position at high school. He was playing left tackle, I believe, if I remember correctly. Playing left tackle, right? And I don't think he's a left tackle. I think he's a guard, most likely. A little heavy, feet not the best to play out there on the perimeter. But a 3-star with good size and good tape, sign me up. Sign me up. Needs to drop weight to maximize his production. But there's enough there, at least for me, to be like, you know what? I think this kid will be really good. Need just, learn the system, get in a little bit more shape. And I'm telling you just from experience, I ain't trying to call you fat, bro. It is what it is. I mean, you're a big dude. You know you're a big dude. But that don't mean you can't improve. So that's Jordan Coleman, man. I like his tape. I like his brother tape a little bit better. And we're going to get to him later. But next up, now, KJ Lacey should be a blue chipper. He should be. And if he was the average size of most quarterbacks at the college level, he would be. But because he's 6 foot, 182, smaller guy, 4 stars. But I think he has amazing tape. I think he got like the second best tape in this class to me. I've always spoken very highly of KJ Lacey, Carl Lacey, I should say. Didn't know his first name until I started doing this video. When they put it out, he was KJ Lacey. But I really wish he would have went to a different school and get a better opportunity to see the field early. I think he's a really good talent. I think of all the quarterbacks in the 2020, and I watched every single quarterback. That video is on my, I think I hit it, but I had a video where I watched all 127 quarterbacks in the 2025 class, and KJ Lacey was like in my top 10. I think he was in my top 5 actually. So I think he throws with the most anticipation of any quarterback in this class. I don't care that he's 6 feet. I don't care that he's 182 pounds. The boy is a legitimate quarterback. I don't like doing player comps, so I'm not gonna do it. But at 6 foot, 182 pounds, he has the ability to throw receivers open and not throw to open receivers. There is a huge difference between throwing receivers open and throwing to open receivers. There's a huge difference. And he can throw receivers open early in the snap count, early in the down, early in the play signals, I should say. So I like KJ Lacey a lot. I like Carl Lacey a lot. He really should have been a blue chipper, but based on my grading criteria and what I was using to be fair across the board, he did not earn enough points in the size category, and that pushed him down the tier. Unfortunately, doesn't mean nothing because, like I said, these are my sleepers, and I think he's definitely gonna be. I wish he didn't go to Texas. And I ain't gonna lie, I wish he would have went somewhere he could have came in, competed, and played right away. It's gonna be hard to break away from the Arch Manning freaking circus. It's a circus. It's a circus. It's a circus. But it's okay. He made that decision. I ain't mad at him. So that's the last of our sleepers. We're moving on to our blue chip prospects. Blue chippers are pretty much players that I believe other schools are highly seeking after. They really want players like this, because these are the guys that, like I said before, will come in early and play, come in early and contribute on offense or defense. They probably give you some special team value as well. But starting off, number one is Lance Jackson. Lance Jackson is my first blue chip prospect. Wound up in the B tier, blue chip, 6'5", 258 pounds, 5-star. Good size, could be great, really has great size. A little bit under the NFL average, is about 270, 280, but if you adjust for player types, you can be between 260 and 280 when you get to your peak size in the NFL. So he's about 2 pounds off there, like what I would consider a good size defensive end at the NFL level. So the size is there. Two-way, like I said before, he was a two-way player in high school, played defensive end and tight end. Now, personally, honestly, I liked his tape at tight end way better than I liked his tape at defensive end. I just liked his tape on. I like, dang, he looked way better at tight end than he do at defensive end. So, but at the same time, at 6'5", 260, and with the athleticism that he possesses, it makes sense that they put him at defensive end. Because if you can affect the passer, you can generate pass rush with just 3 or 4 linemen, you can win a lot of football games. So will he be able to do that right now? I don't think so. But maybe next year, after he's been in the system for a year, got some coaching, got some tutelage for a season or two, redshirt freshman year, if he don't play his freshman year as a true freshman, you guys may have you a guy. But I did like his tight end tape a little bit better than I liked his defensive end tape. But it just could mean he's just a raw prospect that just needs to, improve on his craft and work on his pass rush move, use his hands, create separation extension, react, whatever. I don't feel like doing all the football jargon, but if you know, you know. If you know, you freaking know. Next up is a kid that initially I didn't like his tape. I had to watch it a few times. Like, man, I'm not sure how Cade Phillips got rated a 5-star, but as I kept watching it, because he's 6 foot, 182. Like, he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, a little light, but his film is good. So as I had to watch it a few. So I said, what don't I like about it? And I came to the realization that it's this: I don't like Cade Phillips as a cornerback, and he's listed as a cornerback for Texas right now, I believe. At least he's listed as a cornerback on 24/7 Sports. So he's listed as a cornerback. I do not like Cade Phillips as a cornerback unless you're playing a Tampa 2 style defense. He can sit in that hard flat, that cloud flats, or sitting in or go to the deep blues. Or take a half of the field. So I prefer him at safety. I think unless you're playing that Tampa 2 style defense, we can keep everything in front of him. Then you got you a player. I'm not really sure how he'll hold up in man long term. I don't think he's the fastest. He's not the biggest. At 6 foot, 180, you ain't pressing the jam with a bunch of people like that. You ain't pressing and jamming Jeremiah Smith week 1. You ain't finna do that. You ain't built like that. But if you put him at safety, now because this kid can come down and smack everything. He coming down smacking. He's smacking everything. He reacts. It's like he stepped on a landmine. The way he plants his foot and get north and south. Once the ball is thrown, his reactability is crazy. I did not like him as a corner, but I loved him as a safety, free safety, strong safety. I don't really care where you put him, but put him back deep. Let him roam around the box a little bit. Let him see everything in front of him. Put him in some zone coverage, and he'll be good. But like I said, I prefer him at safety. I think he will end up at safety by the time he's draft eligible. I think he'll end up making that switch. But I like, after I watched the film, you know what? It's not that I don't like his tape. I don't like his tape at cornerback, but I love his tape at safety. So that's how he made the B tier. He scored really well with the film, first impressions on film, and we're rocking with it. Next up, the man, the myth, the legend, the mammoth. This kid been 6'5" since he was probably in sixth grade. Justice Terry, man. The Georgia flip. Another interesting player because he's currently listed as 6'5", 363. There had been reports that he was 6'5", 290. Even though his highlight tape at the high school level say he was 6'5", 265. So I don't know who listed him at 290. He could be up in weight by now. I'm pretty sure 24/7 stuff is out of date. But at 6'5", 263, he played a lot more. I think I watched his tape. He played a lot more inside, like defensive tackle, than he played outside at defensive end. So a 6'5", 263-pound defensive tackle. I don't know if he can bang in the trenches like that in the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the Pac-12. I don't think you can bang in the trenches in the FCS at 260. Because we saw what Norfolk State did. You know, that boy Gabe Zabel punishing you. So at 6'5", 263, he a little light. Now, will they slide him to defensive end? Because at 6'5", 263, I like that. I like a 6'5", 263-pound defensive end. Now the question is, to me he's a power rusher. The question is, does he have enough speed to rush off the edge in comparison to the other people behind him? Because guess what? Colin Simmons is one of them guys. That boy, hey, I told y'all about Colin Simmons last. I said, hey, Colin Simmons is gonna be one of them guys. He's a speed. He's hell on wheels on the edge. That boy can run, bend, and dip. Good luck. Good luck. He gonna need some help. I don't know if Justice Terry will be that guy as a true freshman. Like I said, I don't know where they're going to play him, so it's hard for me to project what he could be for Texas. Because is he a defensive tackle for Texas? Is he a defensive end for Texas? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. At 6'5", 263, that screams more defensive end. But they could sit him for a season, pack on the weight, put on. I don't even know if he can carry 280 pounds, because the kid is already like huge. He's already huge. The kid been Hercules since sixth grade probably. I got a couple 6'6" graders too, by the way. Yeah, I got a couple 6-footers now. I got a couple 6-footers. They only in the sixth grade. Them boys gonna be at least about 6'5" when they done. But that's another video for another day. But yeah, I don't know how they gonna use him, but they definitely have a talent. Like I really like this tape. His tape is really good. More of a power rusher to me. Big Longhorn, fast kid. Well, strong kid. I don't know how fast he is. I don't know if he's fast enough to rush off the edge, but I think he's good enough to learn it. So next we got. Remember I told y'all Texas had two brothers. This is where the other brother come into play. Devin Coleman. Devin Coleman is a very, very, very interesting prospect for my blue chip category at 6'4", 340. Big line. He don't look 340. You know what I'm saying? But he looks a little bit lighter than 340. At least on tape. He looks athletic. A 3-star, good size offensive guard. Really good film. Big, athletic, and powerful. When I watched his tape, that's what kept coming across my head. That's what. Pause. Wait a minute. Pause, man. That's what kept. I don't know. That's what kept running through my head. Big, athletic, powerful, and be fun. And honest with you, at his high school, they used him in a lot of times in that Trent Williams. And I'm not saying he's Trent Williams. Oh, I don't like player comps, but he was in a Trent Williams type role at his high school. They would line him up at tight end, at the H. They just move him around because he's athletic enough to do that. So surprised they didn't let him play defensive tackle because he's a big 6'4", 330-pound athlete. So he could play defensive tackle. He probably just really like playing offensive line. But I really like Devin Coleman's. He's a sleeper, man. Like he's a 3-star. Nobody's gonna know about this kid probably till like next war. Probably now you know about him because if you watching this video, then you know about him. But 2-3 years from now, I really believe we're gonna hear Devin Coleman's name a lot. I do. And as a Georgia fan, I don't want to hear that. But as a Georgia, I'm rocking with all my Georgia teams. You know, I'm rocking with all my Georgia teams. But I gotta give players their flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, and if Devin, if you want to transfer to UGA or Tech or Georgia State, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, holler at me. Let's get you in Georgia, man. My next blue chipper is Elijah Barnes, man. On paper, you probably wouldn't think too much about Elijah Barnes. 6'1", 6'2". He probably closer to 6'1" than he is to 6'2". But at 6'1", 6'2", 246, you probably wouldn't think too much about that. He is a lot bigger than a lot of linebackers in the 2024 class. Most linebackers in his class are probably 6'2", like 215, 205, 200. He's 240, and he can run, he can move. And one thing I really liked about Elijah Barnes' tape, I really like that even though he's a compact line, at 6'2", 246, you are a very compact athlete. He's only like 17, 18 years old, so he got a whole 4 years to get his man body. And that man body could be him trimming down to like 235, or 240, and getting faster and stronger at the same time. That man body could be bumping up to like 250, 255, and being the force up the middle. Being in that Ray Lewis type situation. Not saying he's Ray Lewis, once again, I hate player comps. But one thing I really liked about this tape, he does an amazing job getting from east to west. Getting to the perimeter. At 6'2", 240, you went at 245, you would not expect him to move as well as he does, get into the perimeter. Usually that's a trait only allocated to smaller linebackers, those 6'3", 6'2", 215-pound guys that can really get out there and run like DBs because they DB size. But Elijah Barnes does a really good job playing the perimeter. Really good job playing the perimeter. I think he needs to work on his impact game, getting downhill and stuffing running backs. But he can learn. He can get there. He can get there. But I really liked him in the East and West game, East and West perimeter play. So I really think Elijah Barnes is going to be a really, really good prospect for Texas. I really do. Really, really do. Really, really do. Next up, we got a running back. James Simon. And y'all know I love me a running back. Love me a running back. Right? Love me a running back. James Simon goes in my B tier, my blue chip tier. 5'11", 205. That is the perfect sweet spot for a running back. Not too big, not too small. I personally prefer my running backs to be like 5'8", 5'9", you know what I'm saying? 200, 205, 5'8", 5'9", slippery, hard to see, impactful. But at 5'11", that's just me personally, but NFL averages are like 5'11", like 215, 205. So that's the usual NFL average for running backs. So 4-star, good size, good film, difficult to bring down, slippery, displays amazing, what I wrote down here, displays amazing one-cut ability. I just think there's a lot here. I thought him and Stewart had similar tape, but I think James Simon is just a tier above in film and size. Like this is on paper, he looks like the better prospect. His film, he looks like the better prospect. Just overall, I think Ricky is faster. I will say that. I would love to see these two race though. I would love to see y'all boys do a foot race, but I believe Ricky Stewart would beat James Simon in a foot race. I could be wrong though. I would love to see it. I would love to see that. So the last member of our B tier, another controversial one, because everybody like, And I like Khalid Lockett. I like Khalid Lockett. And I think he came down a little bit because of his size at 6'2", 6'1" He's a little light, but he's only, like I said, he's only coming out of high school. When I did my size portion, I always just try to keep it strictly to the NFL averages for projection purposes. And he just a little bit off the NFL weight. 6'2" is great because, like I said, the NFL average as a receiver is 6 foot. So 6 foot means 6'2" means you're above average. You're above the NFL average. Now your weight is below the NFL average, so you lost a little points there. But he's a 5-star with good size and great, amazing feel. He is probably the most complete receiver in this Texas class. Inside, outside versatility. He's not the most versatile player in this class on offense, and that guy's coming up soon. But he is a very versatile XY receiver slot. I don't really see Khalid playing in the slot. I think he's more of a number one guy, number one role. So him and Ryan Williams, or Wingo, Ryan Wingo, should be a good pair, a good tandem. But I do think he's the most probably complete receiver in this Texas 2025 class. Now, we got our A tier or our All-American tier and our Superstar tier. Who gonna make the cut? First up, we got Myron Charles. I really like Myron Charles. At 6'4", 327 pounds, the kid is a freaking athlete. He has a great motor, 4-star, great size, great film, great motor. My question mark with him is this. I don't know if his motor runs hot all the time. Why? I'm not saying that I didn't see it on film. I'm just saying I haven't watched any full games to see, like, is his motor running the same temperature in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, overtime? Does he take his foot out? I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's not a knock against him. Just like, I would like to know. I would like to get my hands on some full season games versus some good opponents to see what his down in, down out looks like. So quarter in, quarter out looks like. So, but he is our first 8-tier prospect. He's our first All-American, 4-star recruit, 4-star size at 6'4", 320, 27, and 4-star tape. I thought his tape was really, really good. Really, really athletic to be a 6'4", 335, 30-pound defensive tackle. I thought his tape was good. I think his ranking is good. I think he's probably the most accurately ranked. I think he's a little bit underranked, but the 2025 class has a lot of defensive linemen. They have a lot of really good defensive linemen in this class. Looking forward to talking about the rest of them over the next couple class breakdowns. If that's something y'all want. If you don't, then I won't do it. I got something I can do. But I would love to keep doing these breakdowns for y'all. I actually enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. So next up, Jonah Williams, 6'3", 211-pound strong safety. Was listed as an athlete for most of his high school recruiting, right? Was listed as a pure athlete because he could play linebacker, he can play safety, he can play receiver, he can play wildcat quarterback. He played a lot of that. I think in his senior year, he played like a lot of offense as a wildcat guy. He made plays too. So he was listed as an athlete most of his high school career. But then I guess for Texas, they got him listed as a safety. So he got 5-star ranking. He has 5-star size, and he got really good tape. He don't have great tape to me at safety, but he has really, really good tape. And with the size and the tape combined, he's just really good. And the versatility, he can play linebacker, he can play safety. He's in that Derwin James style of player, of cornerback, of safety, not cornerback, of safety. And he got the same frame as well. So his size, his ability, all that stuff just lends to great potential. He could even play. He should see some of the field as a true. I believe he probably should see the field as a true freshman. Maybe not in the first week one, but I think he'll be a really good player. So, Michael Terry. Michael Terry. a 6'3", 214-pound receiver. 4 stars, elite size, 6'3", 214 pounds with really, really good, great film. I don't think he has elite film, right? But I think he has great film. I think he has, I look at film as elite, great, good, above average, average. Those are my 5 tiers. Elite, 5, great, 4, good, 3, above average, 2, 1 average. That's how I look at film. When I do my quick first impression, hey man, great, elite, great, good, average, above average, average. So I thought he had great film. I think he has great size. I think he is a little bit underrated, but that's primarily because he too was another athlete coming out of high school. He was, but this is the thing, right? Michael Terry is a offensive athlete, meaning, what do you mean by that, coach? I mean that he can play the X, the Y, the Z, the running back. Like, he can play everything on offense. So, and it's hard for me to really project out. Like, when you look at his high school tape, he's having great plays at the X, in the slot, at running back, at tight end. I think they put him at Wildcat quarterback a few times, and he was explosive at all those. I don't think he was great at any of those positions, but I think he was really, 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 well, I think he was great. I don't think he was elite at any of those. I don't think he was Jeremiah Smith at freaking receiver, and then Jordan Marshall at running back, or Saquon Barkley at running back. I think he was a really good, really a great receiver. He wasn't Jeremiah Smith, but he was a really great option at receiver. He's a really great option at running back. And I don't know how Texas is going to use him. I think with a guy like Arch Manning, who's projected to be the starter, who may have questionable arm talent, good legs, but questionable arm talent. You need guys like a Michael Terry the third, 3 of them guys. He know who his daddy is, granddaddy is, and great granddaddy is. He the third, I believe that's how you do it. So with a guy like Arch Manning, you need guys that are versatile, that you can move around. Cause he's to me, he's in that Debo, that Percy Harving, that Cordell Patterson. I hear a lot of people talk about him as Cordell Patterson type, and I see that. He's a receiver, running back. He's whatever you need him to be on offense, he that guy. And at 6'3", 214 pounds, he can play all those positions fine. He's a really big running back at 6'3", 214. He's a huge receiver at 6'3", 214. He's a great athlete. I know a lot of people didn't expect him to beat out Jonah Williams. I guess I like Jonah Williams. And I really wanted Michael Terry to be in that superstar tier. The film really brought him down. He lost a couple points film wise because I thought he was really great at receiver, really great at running back, but I didn't think he was elite at either one of those positions. So I couldn't really justify, even though his size says superstar. His tape is great. He is ranked at 4-star. That's good. That's good. That's good. But I didn't think he was like the best receiver at that position. I didn't think he was the best running back. But I do think he's a very lethal weapon for Texas. They can move him around, give him the ball in the slots, the screens, the running back, jet sweep. However you want to use dot, screens, RPO, whatever. He probably can even take some snaps at quarterback for you. He's just that kind of weapon. At least that's how I feel about him. So anyway, that's my tier list, man. I got 3 All-Americans. And to me, I think my A and B tiers are where you start to get into your draft picks. I think this is where you start to get into your draft picks. Like, you can feel really confident that maybe these kids can potentially play themselves into a 3rd round, a 2nd round, a 1st round projection, any round. 7th round. I just really feel confident that if these kids get any type of coaching, any type of development, that my All-Americans and my blue chippers could easily, well, I ain't gonna say easy because there's nothing easy about going to the NFL, but I believe these guys are highly probable to get selected in any round, but I really feel confident in the first three. The first three. I think they have the size, they have the tape, they just need the opportunity. I think Khalid Lockett could probably be one of the better players in this class, in this Texas class, period. Period. Period, period, period. I don't know how much of a chance Carl gonna get with Arch Manning being there. You know, I just don't, but I think Michael Terry is gonna be really good. I just like this class. But anyway, I like the class a lot. How I graded this class, I used 3 categories. I used their national ranking as one category, right? They got 5 up to 5 points in that category based on wherever they was ranked on 24/7 Sports. Now I looked at their size. They was awarded between 1 and 5 points based on NFL averages. That's another 5 points. And then I looked at film. I told y'all before, I look at film as a 5 stars with me, elite. 4 stars with me, great. 3 stars with me, good. 2 stars with me, above average. 1 star is average. So you got 5 points. They're giving you a total of 15 points. To get into my superstar tier, you had to earn 14 or 15 points. I wanted to be tough to get up there. And I think Michael Terry was like the closest one. Michael Terry and Jonah Williams were off by 1 point. I think Mike, he lost his point because he was rated a 4-star. And I think I gave his film 4, so that put him at like 13. He had 13 points. I think Jonah Williams lost his points off of film. I gave him, he had a 5-star. He rated 5 stars on 24/7 Sports. He has 5-star size. I thought his tape was like 3 stars. So he lost points for me with film. But that's generally how, working on some different, I used a different metric last year. I'm using another one this year. Enjoying it. Should be fun. Who should I do next? Let me know in the comments below.